That's in here. Oh, my bad, family. I was having a moment. Night class. Night class for the 9 ether beings out there. And you in the right spot. I see y'all coming in. Get y'all black ass in class. Yeah. See what's going on. Go on the app. Yeah, come on in here. There's 20 people in here. Get y'all black ass in class. All the guys and goddesses. Get on up in here. Get up in here. Go on the app, let them know we live. Go on Twitter, let them know we live. Go on Instagram, let them know we live. And for those of you with other members in the class, everybody just, a lot of people that's joining the app today, yesterday, please go on the forum and let them know. They got to download the app. I've already told them, I think I'm about to make a video, but download the app. I send out the invite codes. All you got to do is check your email. Boom, you in. Y'all, okay, there we go. It's 50 of us. Excuse me. Kindly, respectfully. Thank you. Y'all black ass in class. Y'all niggas know y'all ain't got shit to do today like I don't. We ain't here to learn, to enlighten ourselves, to increase the frequency. Back. We in here. Welcome to class. Normally I wait till we get 1,000 live viewers. I'm waiting till we get to 300 today. We at 110 right now. Class is about to start. Ooh, that he came in smooth. It ain't come in too much. It ain't come in too less. It came in the right way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't like that pepper. It's way bigger than that when I left. Like spicy, huh? Yeah, dude. I was looking. I'm Shango. I got Shango. I feel more Shango in me than Ogun. Yeah, I have. I have been. Tierra, look. Look at the TV. Look who pops up. I still subscribe. We're subscribed, I think. That's why you popped up. It look different when you see yourself to pop up like that, right? Yeah. It's the out of body experience. Yeah. I feel the same. I got used to it though. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Now, that do be a little over the edge. Okay, 210. We in class. Y'all in the right place, not the wrong place. Some of y'all peeping in like, hold on, was this pre-recorded? No, you hit live. You know what live you came in. This ain't pre-recorded. I'm setting the setup up. Let me set the setup up. Peace to the guys and goddesses, baby. It's Friday. Oh yeah, look. Check this out. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I ain't watched the baseball game in like 3 years, but y'all know I'm in the A. The Braves just won. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Braves. Even though we ain't watch no games, we just go Jets a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, Atlanta overly turned right now down here, y'all. They overly turned. We ain't even going outside. We'll probably go outside tomorrow or so. I don't know. You know, national overturn right now. Exactly what we ain't trying to be. Niggas don't know how to drive. For real. Welcome to the university, y'all. We lit. I see it's 200 of y'all. Roll up, pull up, do whatever you gotta do. It's Jets. Just enjoy this shit, cause the ship is going down, y'all. Well, we gonna open it up with the right energy though, y'all. We gotta. Like I'm feeling this right now, y'all. It's the energy. Welcome to class. frequency, y'all. Gotta let y'all get up in here. Y'all feeling vibrations? I know y'all feeling vibrations. Vibrations feel good, don't they? They feel good to me. I know they feel good to y'all. Before we take all the way off to class reflections, we gotta get one more. We got this energy, wanna clear out any negative frequencies trying to invade our space during this lecture. So, we know them drum patterns. Them come from our brothers and sisters in what they want to call Africa, which we know ain't no such thing as Africa. All right? Now let's hear some of our tribal music from our brothers and sisters right here. In this on this continent of what they want to call North America. are ready to start class. Peace to the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. Peace, meaning positive energy always creates elevation, reflection. It's good to see y'all again. We back for this deep download. that felt good to you, welcome to the University of Cosmic Intelligence, where a God can be a God. Enjoy yourself as we sit through this deep divine download. I want y'all to always remember to let's keep it fun. Because when we taking in this information, it can be a lot. So we have to keep it fun. Peace to the guys and goddesses. I see y'all in here. 3,600 live viewers right now. So I don't know if y'all sent the memo out or not, but we jumped to where we needed to be very, very fast. So it's all good. We in here. All right. So once again, let me start by opening up this, lecture with the right spiritual energy. It's imperative that we always do that. So first, let me start by saying peace to the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. Peace, meaning positive energy, always creates elevation. I'm sending the deepest of insight to all our peers in the university, all the elders, those 65 and older. We always start with the elderly first because that's just respect. They've been in a physical vessel down here in this realm a lot longer than we have, so it's always imperative to give the elderly the respect first. And I like to go to the next in line, which is my peers, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Sending nothing but the deepest of insight to you all, you and your families. I know a lot of y'all sitting here with y'all kids, y'all other cousins. Like I say, whole family sitting here like it's the Cosby Show. So that's why I like to keep it fun and light. And I have my own way of teaching, which is, the ancestors bestowed everything God do upon me to help us, in this revolution. So that's what I do. I just try to stay down to earth and be myself. And I appreciate y'all for allowing me to be myself while teaching and not expecting me to come in with no motherfucking suit on, shit like that, because that's not who I am. All right. However, if an individual can see past, get past, the way I initially look, then they are able to receive a lot of in-depth downloads, which you should take and expound upon yourself. You are to expand this information because all this information is being presented is only to help you remember. Okay, so you're supposed to take it and build upon it. That's what I want. That's what I hope that you all are doing. I believe that in the abyss of my soul, I really do. For those who don't know what abyss mean, that just mean the depths, the darkest, the deepness, the deepest part of something that's called the abyss. So for those who don't know what that word means, because we're not all on the same level. Some people got big dictionary, big vocabularies. Some don't. So it's imperative that we stay, breaking things down for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, I want to say welcome to all the new members of the university. I seen y'all was signing up today. Y'all sending me texts and emails. So definitely welcome home. And here we exit Earth into reality. You know what I'm saying? Just like I say in the bio on IG, exit Earth into reality. So welcome to the university. Feel free to post in the forum, videos, information, downloads. Feel free to mingle, exchange numbers because we know we in end game. So everything is coming down, and I don't have to tell you that. You see it. You see it at your own. And that's what's a good thing about this moment in time that we are in. Many of us are seeing it for ourselves, which is called insight, and that's what I love better than information is insight. We could talk all day, but do you really see it for yourself? That's what is most important, and that you're not just sitting in this university, you listening, and then you're not implementing. I mean, you can't implement everything overnight. We all on different levels. We all at different spaces in our spiritual journey. Some of us are a little farther along than others. Some of us are just starting. It don't matter how far along you are, or it don't matter if you just started yesterday. The point is that we all on the journey. All right, we on the journey, and we on it together. It's unity, togetherness. We going back to nature. We going back to how it was anciently. You heard the music I was playing? That's our ancient music. All right, at that point we was in together, one with nature. We had a deep connection to nature. That's what we getting back to. We got to get back to talking to the bees and the insects and the animals, and the elements, and that's where we going. The planet is rising in frequency, so we in a good place right now. All right, we in a great place right now. To the blue crystal babies, those in the university 21 and under, we appreciate y'all deeply, very, very deeply, because it's always going to be about the youth. It's going to always be about, because y'all represent y'all end of our generation, but y'all ushering in a whole new generation. So we making it. We are the generation, meaning those between the ages of 0 right now, or months old, all the way up to 72. All right. Once it's ushering in change. Chosen ones. All right. Even though who aren't awoken yet, they were chosen, but then some of us come down here and because we don't have high dark matter energy levels like others, after they put that nanobiotechnology in us via injection as kids, some of us never recover from that. So that's what you got to understand too. If you were able to recover from that and become woke and make things happen, even begin gain any form of success in this matrix because you wasn't designed to. That just means you have like I always say, you have high dark matter energy levels. All right, so you give yourself a round of applause for that. You clap yourself up, pat yourself on the back, and you stay humble. You stay humble, and you keep teaching. You like I say, every room is different. When y'all walk in this room, y'all students. But guess what? Sometimes when y'all walk in this room, y'all still the teacher. I'm learning from y'all as well. You walk in other rooms, you might strictly be the teacher. All right, so that's the duality. These paradigms or realities, we should call them, they are all built around numbers and possibilities, meaning that there's no limit to nothing is definite. You know what I'm saying? Everything is infinite, so it can always change based upon the user. We are the users because we are the creators of the game. As long as you remember that, you're gonna always be ahead, and we where you need to be, especially as we move deep into this spiritual warfare. All right. So today, right, I want to talk about Henry Ford. I have him pulled up on Wikipedia. If you want to read along, like the pastor used to do your ass, feel free to read along the congregation. Goddamn it, your ass, pull your Bible out. All right, we don't do no Bibles in here. We ain't gotta pull no Bible out, but you can pull your tablet out, your iPad, an extra phone if you have it, if you want to, just to keep up with what's going on, or you could just sit right there and listen, because that's what you enrolled for you not to do shit but sit there and listen and learn. So you don't have to do no extracurricular activities, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to, but for those who want to keep up with what I'm saying, All right, so we're going to read about Henry Ford. Now, like I said, we got a lot of blue crystal babies in here, so y'all might just know about Ford, the car. But yes, the car Ford, like Ford Focus and the other different cars that Ford is known for. They got a bunch of famous cars. Let's see. Let's see. They got the Mustang. All right, that's one of their most popular cars. It's like the Mustang. All right, but then they got the Fiesta, the Model Ts, the Taurus, the Explorers, the Explorer SUVs. Okay, so all of that comes from Ford, the company. All right, and let me go back to Wikipedia. So all of that comes from Ford, the company. Now, every company has a luxury car. So Ford's luxury car is the Lincoln. Okay, Lincoln is under Ford. Okay, so you do your Lincoln Town car, the Lincoln Navigator. Ford, that's all. That's the luxury model of Ford. All right, so what you got to know is about Ford was invented or founded by a human being named Henry Ford, who was actually a reptilian posing as a human being. All right. Well, I mean, not reptilian. He was a Pleiadian. All right, so Henry Ford was a Pleiadian, and he's actually still here on the planet right now under disguise of he was just formerly going by Prince Andrew. Okay, now I'm gonna dive deeper into that in a second. All right, I want to pull something up. All right, so all right, let me pull something up. All right, so we back on Wikipedia. So before we dive deep into Henry Ford, let's just read a little bit about what they said on Wikipedia. I'm not gonna read too much. I just want to give y'all a quick little synopsis, and then we gonna go clean in to what's really going on with him, because you know they're not gonna never tell you the real on Wikipedia and Google. But I just want to give you a synopsis, quick little synopsis of who he's supposed to be. All right, Henry Ford, born July 30th of 1863, passed away April 7th, 1947. He was an American industrialist, business magnate, and founder of the Ford Motor Company. Okay, like I was telling you. He is also the chief developer of the assembly line technique of mass production. All right. So when I used to work at jobs, I love working on assembly lines because I like working with my hands. So for those who don't know what the assembly lines is, like the blue crystal babies, those 21 and under. Whenever you work at a factory, they have an assembly line where it's a bunch of people working in there and they're working to get the products created. These are the people that's boxing the products, taping the products, weighing the products, bagging the products. You know, basically what a mass production takes place at, all companies have an assembly line, okay? So it's normally filled with with men and women, or gods and goddesses, either or. You know what I'm saying? I used to love working on an assembly line when I worked at Franklin Fueling Systems in Madison, Wisconsin. We had an assembly line there, and it was dope. You know what I'm saying? So this back when I was working in the Matrix, before I started working for myself. But anyway, the creator of this assembly line whole technique is Henry Ford, or so they say. All right. Now, by creating the first automobile that middle class Americans could afford, all right. So basically, he converted the automobile from an expensive curiosity into an accessible convenience that profoundly impacted the landscape of the 20th century. So this is what they're telling you on Wikipedia about him, okay? So basically, they're saying like he's the founding father of the production line, the assembly lines. All right, he created the Ford Motor Company. All right, and by him he created the first car that was affordable for the masses. All right, so basically he made cars more popular with that because they had cars out then, but very few could afford them. All right, so let's keep going on what they say about him real quick. His introduction of the Ford T-model automobile revolutionized transportation and American industry. All right, as the Ford Motor Company owner, he became one of the richest and best known people in the world. He is credited with Fordism, all right, which is the mass production of inexpensive goods coupled with high wages for workers. All right, so Fordism is what you see today. When motherfuckers going to work, most people trying to get a high wage, and the higher the wage, the more work that company going to expect you to do, or the more proficient they're going to expect you to be at your job, right? Well, he is the creator of that whole ideology, that whole mindset, okay? Mm-hmm. Ford had a global vision with consumerism as the key to peace. So consumerism is how these Fortune 500 companies look at you, your family, me and my family. They don't see people. They don't see human beings, and they don't see gods and goddesses. They see a bunch of fucking sheeps and consumers. All right. And how do we consume? We consume through the TV. We consume through the radio. We consume through watching the movies. We consume through going to the sports games. We consume through participating in buying video games. We consume when we wearing the cloth. We consume when we eating. We consume a lot of different ways. That's all consumerism. So this is why Xbox is able to market shit to us and know we're going to buy it, because we are the consumers. This is why any beauty line products, the goddesses, where you are just a consumer to the owner of that product. All right. So, and anybody that goes into business understands that too. When you have your own business, you know that, okay, you have a market, but then you have consumers. Okay. You have to know your market, and you have to know who's going to consume whatever product it is that you have. If you put the wrong product, you have a good product, but if you place it in the wrong market, then nobody's going to consume it. So now you just make this $10,000 investment into this company or this dream you got, or this $2,000 investment or $300, $400, $500 investment, whatever you invest in, and you turn around and you get nothing back from that because you had a good product, but you placed it in the wrong market. So the market you placed it in doesn't have any consumers that are eager to purchase or consume your product. So now your business crash. All right. So that's what consumerism is. All right. But he was the one who targeted that ideology. All right. His intense commitment to systematically lowering costs resulted in many technical and business innovations, including a franchise system that put dealerships throughout North America and major cities on 6 continents. Ford left most of his vast wealth to the Ford Foundation and arranged for his family to permanently control it. All right, so Ford was also widely known for his pacifism during the first years of World War I and for promoting anti-Semitic content, including the protocols of the Elders of Zion throughout his newspaper, the Dearborn Independent, and the book International Jew. Now, the protocols of the Elders of Zion, that's a whole different subject, a whole different topic for a whole different live, because it's very long and very deep. But we'll talk about it a little bit. We're going to touch upon it, and we're going to touch up on why he was with it. All right. All right, so anti-Semitic. What are the Semites? All right, the Semites are like anybody that's basically a human being stock. So let me click on anti-Semitic for you to give you a better breakdown. All right, so check it out. The Semitic people. All right, for example, Hitler would have been deemed anti-Semitic with what he was doing in the Holocaust. All right, so anybody that speaks out against the human being stock, all right, who are considered the Semites or the Semitic people, all right, they are deemed anti-Semitic. Malcolm X was deemed anti-Semitic. Okay, so I'm just letting you know that this is bullshit when they saying that he was attacked for promoting anti-Semitic content. All right, so that's really just a play on your brain to confuse the fuck out of you more. All right, I'm gonna break all this down. You know, I'm gonna get deep into it. I got y'all. I'm just reading off what they sent about him real quick. All right. All right. All right. So let's get to it. All right. So basically, we know that Henry Ford was a human being that created the Ford Motor Company. All right, and that he was personally responsible for the work week. All right. So the way we work today, the way individuals work, how you work 5 days a week, and you get 2 off days, and you work 40-hour weeks. Well, he created that whole mindset, okay? Now, in Google, they tell you on Wikipedia, in addition to raising his workers' wages, Ford also introduced a new reduced work week in 1926. The decision was made in 1922 when Ford and his co-worker described it as a 6 8-hour days, given a 48-hour work week. So that, and originally in 1922, when they first started hiring major employees for these factories that was building, with Ford being one of the leading producers of these factories, it was required for people to work 6 days a week, 8 hours a day. All right. But in 1926, Ford changed it to 5 8-hour days, making it a 40-hour work week. Okay. The program apparently started with Saturdays being designated as a work day before becoming a day off sometime later. On May 1st, 1926, the Ford Motor Company's factory workers switched to a 5-day, 40-hour work week, with the company's office workers making the transition the following August. All right. Now let's see why. They say Ford had decided to boost productivity, as workers were expected to put more effort into their work in exchange for more leisure time. So what does that mean? Basically, originally, they required you to work more hours. All right. Originally, slaves were required to work sun up to sundown. But when they started creating these factories, they was already pushing us out of chain slavery, and they was pushing us into these new plantations called jobs, which Henry Ford was one of the leading productions in that. All right. All through Detroit, Michigan, and spread out throughout the country. All right. That's why the Midwest to this day has so many factories. You know what I'm saying? There's so many abandoned factories. Like Detroit was a factory town. General Electric and Ford. There were so many companies there. Ohio, India, a lot of these places was like that. And then a lot of these jobs moved out. So that's why it's poverty stricken throughout the Midwest, like it is now in certain cities. All right. But you have to understand that the whole reason Ford did this The whole reason you work 8 hours a day now is because of Henry Ford. Okay? The whole reason there's a work schedule is because of Henry Ford. All right? Because before it was that, you was working sun up to sundown. Even after they freed the slaves, niggas still had to work sun up to sundown just to get some kibbles and bits. All right? So when they wanted us, there was a mind fuck. They was trying to manipulate us to believe, or our ancestors into believing that it was change. So what better way to bring change than to say, hey, you don't have to go to work, but it's an option. So a lot of our ancestors started going to these factories. They're not going to tell you on Wikipedia that the majority of people that worked in them factories was black people. They just gonna say workers. Just to make you think it was human beings. Listen, a lot of them human beings didn't know how to fucking work. They was fresh out of slavery. We talking 1922. We was just in physical shackles 40, 33 generations, 3 decades, four decades prior. Okay? We 2 decades into the 20th century, 1922. So 30 years before that, niggas was in shackles. So majority of these human beings, they didn't know how to work and they didn't like work. So when they did try to come into the factories, guess who was outworking them? We was. Because we was fresh from working sun up to sun motherfucking down. On top of that, we are still the ancient beings. Okay? We are still the ancient beings, naturally. So our life force was used. Now, Henry Ford, he's a smart ass motherfucking honky. That's what I call him. Even though he's a Pleiadian. We're going to get to that. Because what he did was, the reason he came up with a slicker way to enslave us. Oh, you know what? Y'all ain't gotta work sun up to sundown. It's 6 days. He started that. Then he broke it down. You know what? Y'all ain't gotta work 6 days. Y'all ain't gotta work 6 days a week. We gonna just only make it 5. But what happened was, since we knocked 2 days off, a day off, you gonna have to work harder doing those 8 hours. He set up that whole system. All right. Now, most people, like they said, his whole mindset was to produce productivity, or to channel more, or to draw more life force from us, more frequency from us. All right. Placing us in these factories. The reason why his business really grew is because he was actually hiring black motherfuckers. Okay. He was hiring all the black people. You feel me? And he won favor with our ancestors because they wasn't as advanced as we are now. So niggas thought like, okay, he's paying more and you don't have to work all these days. Because you still have certain companies around the country that was making people work 7 days, 6 days. Ford came like this. We need to make these niggas think they free. Let's knock some more days off. And the way it was placed out there was, Will, you only have to work 5 days. In exchange, we'll give you more leisure time. So when our ancestors first started working, the only thing they thinking is this: shit, I worked them 5 days and I got 2 days to just relax. 2 days ain't shit, but if you working sun up to sundown every day, and then you go from that to 7 days, then down to 6 days, hell yeah, you like, shit, 5 days? Shit is, and you gonna pay more? The only thing he required was for you to work hard. In the beginning, he even used to dive deep into what was going on paternally, like going on at your house. You can read that up on Wikipedia too. All right, because I already closed the MacBook. We ain't got to look at it no more. I'm here with y'all. All right? But understand that the reality of it was a mind fuck, a chess move, okay? And it made black people believe, hey, we are equally we're getting treated like human beings finally, when we should have never wanted to be treated like human beings because we was never human. All right. So it was the first step in breaking us from our organic mode of being these gods and these ancient creators. Because see, when we was in physical shackles, we didn't want half from nothing. It was all or nothing. And that's why they had to kill us. Or some of the ones who didn't rebel, we just was fuck it. We just went all full into, we just slaved. We just accepted it. So when they came with the work, when Henry Ford came with his factory, opening it up to all these black people and Latino people, the gods, and giving us making us work lesser days and paying us a little more, he seemed like the fucking hero. When in reality, he was not. Right? Even if you read in Wikipedia about him, they tell you how he was against the Union. All right? He had hired a Navy SEAL boxer named like Brent Barrett or something. And this guy was the one that would go around and beat. He had a group of, basically like the mob. They was whooping motherfuckers' ass that didn't want to work at these jobs. And if you try to put together a union to try to fight for your equal rights, they was fucking y'all up too. I'll pull it up. Look, he was a whole thug. Henry Ford was a whole mobster. All right, then I'm gonna go deeper about who he was. But check it out. Under labor unions, under Henry Ford on Wikipedia, it clearly says Ford was adamantly against labor unions. Now, for those who did work jobs before, you know that unions is everything for you, right? Because the companies treat you like shit. So the union is basically all the workers that actually work for the company coming together to protect the workers' rights. That would be no different than us. We forming the union in the country right now. Like, we the motherfucking citizens, or so they say. We the people doing all the work, paying all the taxes. This country don't run without us. But yet, y'all run over a motherfucker. Why? Because the people don't have a union. So that's why at jobs had these unions, but at labor unions. But in the beginning, the first labor union was made under Ford and Ford Motor Company. And Henry Ford was against the shit because he was about separating individuals and draining everybody their life force and completely dominating them. It was all about, like he said, productivity. They was trying to create as many cars and as many factories as they could. Why? Because these factories help do what to the planet? Kill it. What does it do? What does it do to the hydrogen? It erodes it out. All right. So all these factories being built affected the way it affected us. Then they start making the cars pumping out all these toxins into the air as well that we don't need. Then it made us lazy. They put you inside a car with 4 glass windows and metal, which was further going to be designed for us to drive down the road anyway. You get what I'm saying? Because they didn't want us around nothing pertaining to nature. You don't need a car to travel. Before we was using our energy to travel. Remember I told you McCurbers. So this was all a part of taking us into that next level of slavery so that they can further take the shackles off us, because now they got niggas' minds, souls, and spirits. All right? So although he was disguised as a person that was doing so much for us and for the job, like, we didn't need no jobs. Think about it. Why the fuck do we need to work in 8 factories which are designed to kill off our nature, our wildlife, and us? So no matter where you work, medical field, sports, entertainment, you become a rapper, you sell drugs, you go work at Burger King, you go work at retail, all these companies are against us. Yeah, we buy shoes, but we don't think about how many kids they kill and enslave to make the motherfucking shoes and these clothes that we don't even need. We buy food, but they poison in that. We buy water, they poison in that. We go work in the medical field, they train you to poison your people. It's not a job you can name that is not designed to kill us. That's the end goal of every major Fortune 500 company. It's to kill us. Okay? So as you can see that clearly, you can see what the fuck a job is. Like, that's why I said that's a form of selling your soul. We basically I'm going to sell. Okay, that's like when I worked at Burger King, McDonald's. I sold all this badass poison meat to my people for a check. That's no different than me when I sold drugs in the streets of Chicago. I sold crack and dope and heroin to my people before for money. I robbed my own people before for money. Right? So that made me a cancer to my people. But if I went to work at Foot Locker and sold gym shoes, I was still a cancer to my people, because we don't need shoes neither. We don't need these. We don't need these. This hurts us. But yet we've been trained to wear it. Rubber soles. Rubber. Designed for your soul. Because that's what it affects the most. Your life force, which is generated from your center of you, which is the plexus, your solar plexus. That's the center of your chakras, the center of you. Some people think it's the heart chakra, which sits above the solar plexus, but no. It's really your soul, because that's where all your energy comes from. It's coming from your soul. That's the sun of you, along with the little mini universes and the little mini suns you got chromosomes. So I'm pointing out to point out it's not a job you can work that doesn't hurt your people or hurt your planet. All right. Now let me tell you how evil this motherfucker was. Ford didn't want nobody to think for themselves. Henry Ford did. So what he did was he was against labor unions, right? He explained his views on unions in chapter 18 in his book called My Life of Work. He thought they were too heavily influenced by leaders who would end up doing more harm than good for workers, despite their ostensible good motives. So Key word to focus on. He thought they were too heavily influenced by leaders. He did not like leaders. A leader is what? A free thinker. That's what makes them him or her a leader, because they are not scared to think on their own. All right? Now let's keep going. Most of these leaders, he said, wanted to restrict productivity as a means to foster employment. All right? But Forbes saw this as self-defeating because in his view, product was necessary for economic prosperity to exist. So Ford didn't give a fuck. He was like a slave master. He just want product to be made. He don't give a fuck how hard you got to work, what you got to do, how long you got to be in there. I need product and I need it now. That's no different than 40 years prior when motherfuckers was on the slave plantation and the slave master needed product. He needed cotton, he needed his tea, he needed his motherfucking coffee beans, all that. And he needed it now. Remember, the slaves had quota. See what I'm saying? 40 pounds of cotton a day. Some of them had to pick 60 based on your age. Now, you know how many cuts you going to get on your fingers? How many times you going to get pricked trying to pick 40 pounds of cotton in a field full of other individuals when the sun beaming on the back of your goddamn neck and you not in your natural element, sun up, sun down. That was the work back then, as sun up to sun down. Wasn't no breaks. Master came out there, threw a big ass keg of water in the thing. Y'all took y'all little sips. Y'all back at it. Cause see, back then, even they knew we don't require food to operate. They knew that then. That's why a lot of the slaves wasn't even eating like that. A lot of people think that the slaves wasn't eating like that, and when they did feed the slaves, they would feed their ass motherfucking the leftovers from the pig intestines, the pig nuts, the pig feet. You know, the bullshit, the shit they knew wasn't good. The worst part of the pig was left for us. The worst part of the meal was left for us. They didn't eat like that, yet we was strong, big, all that, because it was all sunlight and water. And remember, it's by the slaves being in the barnyard and the field all day, they out there eating plants, certain shrubs, leaves, and they know that. It's no different than putting a donkey out in the middle of the field. You ain't got to go out there and feed that donkey. You ain't got to go feed that horse. That horse is going to sustain itself. Sunlight, grass, and then get water from the soil, and the grass is chewing. And it's good to go. Hay, and it's good to go. Right? The reason animals are so can sustain themselves off the basics like that is because they come from us. And that's how we anciently ate. So in slavery times, we really didn't eat like that. You know what I'm saying? And when we did eat, it was bullshit. Then once they seen they can get us to eat the bullshit, they kept pushing it and pushing it on us. And this is where all your soul food comes from today. All right? It's bad for your soul. It's not good for your soul. None of it is. All right? But that's imperative for you to know that so you can fully understand how he was operating. All right? And before Henry Ford Motor Company, this was the first major company to actually hire black folks. You gotta think now. Motherfuckers slaves, fresh out of slavery. But guess what? You got these cities getting built, these factories getting built. We wanted to go club. They was pulling us into that life. Niggas ain't had the money to do it. So that's how they used the jobs, because it was like, okay, you niggas free now, but if you want to come in here, you're going to need this. Well, niggas ain't got that. Oh, well, look like your ass ain't going to be free again. Your ass you're going to have to work for it. So it's the same thing. But they made us think it was a mind fuck that niggas was free. And then they started making shit cost. But when we was slaves, physical, it was no money, nothing cost. That's a whole lie when they like, oh, well, they needed money and they was trading slaves for money. Why would the master need money? They took the money. The money is the land, the natural resources, the water, the land. That's the fucking, the gold right there. So they made us do all the work. Fuck they need money for? They didn't need no money. The whole thing about, they built the railroad track in Carnegie and it was some of the first bankers. Yes. And how the fuck was the bank started? You know what the bank was? The bank was nothing but the biggest scam of all time. You got these white motherfuckers, once again, they would set up their system to further. They basically took us out of physical shackles into a higher, more advanced form of slavery called society. All right? So in society, you had these jobs that they were setting up. You had your jails being set up to maintain our ass if we didn't want to follow this new game. And then you had these banks. All right, with these banks, it's all falling out with Henry Ford, Carnegie, all they ass, Chase, all they ass around the same time. Chase just a little before Henry Ford, but Henry Ford granddad and then was rocking with Chase. So it's the same motherfuckers. All right. With the bank, it went just like this. They had no money in the bank. They opened up a building and said, hey, niggas, put your money in here. The little money you do make, put it in here. Or once you start making your money, put it in here. So a bank has no money until you walk up and put your dollar in there. You put $100 in the bank. Now the bank got $100. Then somebody else come and they put $100 in the bank. Now the bank got $200. Now 10 people come because they believe in a poster about this bank protecting their money. 10 people come put their $100 in the bank. Now the bank got $1,000. So now if I come to the bank and I'm like, hey, I need to get a loan for $200, guess what? Now the bank can't loan it to me because they ain't doing nothing but loaning me other people money. Now, once they loan me other people money, they're going to charge me interest on that because they're loaning me other people money. Okay? And then if somebody else that actually put their money in the bank come and they want to get money out, don't trip because we getting interest off the money we just loaned from you to somebody else. So it's there for you. But guess what? At the end of the day, they ain't going to take all your money out at one motherfucking time. That ain't how no bank work. They going to allot your shit because they don't have it. It's just numbers. They taking everybody's money and do. That's the bank. That's what the fuck a bank is. So when they we can give you loans, we can protect your money. They came up with a scam to put the little money you making, let us get that. That's exactly what the bank was for. All right. So while the bank was being created, you had your police officers, which is slave catchers. Okay, we ain't gonna call y'all slave catchers no more. Why? Because we told these niggas they was free. So your new name is gonna be officer. We ain't gonna say they going on you on your way to the plantation. Even though when most people work, it's called what? A plant. They work at a plant. Nike has a plant. Xbox has a plant. T-Mobile has a plant where they make all their manufactured goods. It's still a plant. Why is it called a plant? It's short for plantation, man. But they fucked the shit out of our minds. Remember, the trick was to make niggas think they was free. So we can't tell these niggas they walking on the plantation. Now we gonna say you're going to work. You're on your way to the job. The slaves had to punch in with their last names too. The slaves had little branded numbers that they branded on them. Y'all forgot? And when it was time to go in the field, that's how they kept up with the number of slave. 2, where you at? Got the little 2 branded on you. What 3 at? Got the numbers branded. 113. They branded that shit on us. Nowadays, they use your last 4 of your social. You walk in, you punch in the clock. Where do you think that method came from? The plantation. It's the same shit. So, a labor union would be like the slaves being out there on the field. Like, you know what, y'all? We not finna keep letting these niggas make us work sun up to sundown for 40 pounds of cotton. We gotta pick all 40 pounds of cotton, and all we get at the end of the day is a motherfucking glass of water. Nah, you know what we gonna do? We gonna come together and because we the motherfuckers picking the cotton. You know, we gonna come together and we gonna let the master know, hold on now, we got rights now. Right? How the fuck you would send that to the master? We would went upside your shit. So, that's why Henry Ford didn't like labor unions. You get it? He got his plantation, Ford Motor Company. He's the master. What you mean y'all starting a labor union? So check how he did the labor union. Let's get deeper. All right, check this out. Henry Ford believed that productivity gains that alleviated certain jobs would nevertheless stimulate the broader economy and grow new jobs elsewhere. All right? Whether within the same corporation or in others, Ford also believed that union leaders had a perverse incentive to foment perpetual socio-economic crisis to maintain their power. Basically, he felt like the leaders was going to challenge his ass. All right? Meanwhile, Ford believed that smart managers had an incentive to do right by their workers because doing so would maximize their profits. So Henry Ford ain't like managers neither because he felt like the managers, like they just said, would do the right thing for the workers, right? He don't give a fuck about the workers or none of that. He cares about what? Productivity, which they just let it be known. So he didn't like the managers and he didn't like the labor unions. He didn't like the leaders. He didn't like that. All right, so check this out. To forestall union activity, that means stop it. Ford promoted Harry Bennett, a former Navy boxer, to head the service department. Bennett employed various intimidation tactics to squash union organizing. Yes, in the beginning, if your ass tried to work in the labor union, they was whooping your ass and killing you. And the original labor union workers were black people. You know, we was the first everything now. It wasn't no white people. They didn't give a fuck. They already owned shit. It was us like, hold on, y'all. I thought we was free. You see what I'm saying? Check how they got down on us. Henry Ford. To forestall this labor union activity amongst us, because they not telling you that on here. They just saying, they make it sound like the union representing the white people too. Only us, y'all. To forestall union activity, Henry Ford promoted Harry Bennett, a former Navy boxer, to be the head service department. Bennett employed various intimidation. Nigga, we talking about work, y'all. They using intimidation tactics like these niggas selling keys for them like they the mob. Listen though. Various intimidation tactics to squash union organizing. On March 7, 1932, during the Great Depression, unemployed Detroit auto workers, black people, staged the Ford Hunger March to the Ford River Road complex to present 14 demands to Henry Ford. The Dearborn Police Department and Henry Ford security guards opened fire on workers, leading to over 60 injuries and 5 deaths. Now you know it was more than that, because Wikipedia gonna motherfucking sprinkle some sprinkles on top, make it seem like it wasn't what it was. You know they didn't do it to no white people. So you telling me because niggas marched and they had 14 demands for Henry Ford, black people, the Dearborn Police Department and Henry Ford security guards opened fire on these people, on these gods and goddesses, injuring over 60 and killing over 5. On May 26, 1937, Bennett security man beat members of the United Automobile Workers Union. Whooped them, beat their ass, including Walter Reuther with clubs. While Bennett's men were beating UAW representatives, so the supervising police chief on the scene was Carl Brooks. Carl Brooks was an alumni under Bennett. So guess what he didn't do? Shit. He gave orders to the police not to intervene. And they sat out there and they shot and killed black people, and they beat them for marching and trying to start these labor unions originally. See what I'm saying? You see this shit they never tell you in school. I'm just saying though, okay? When labor unions originally started, this is the shit they was going through. All right? Now, in the late 1930s and early 1940s, they say that Ford came to a collective bargaining agreement with the unions because the violence and work disruptions and bitter stalemates could not go on forever. You get what I'm saying? So we can sit that right there. It was a whole violent riots going on in the beginning, and it's all because of Henry Ford. So him creating the work week is the reason why. Let's think about what the work week has done to the black household. We was working 8 hours a day. It's only 24 hours in their day based on their time scale, based on their Gregorian calendar, right? So the 8-hour work week was the worst thing that could have happened to us, because guess what? Now who gonna raise our kids? You got whole generations who grew up with nobody at the house to raise them because their daddy was gone, or he was locked up, and while his daddy was gone or locked up, mom was at work all fucking day. Working these 8-hour shifts started by Henry fucking Pleiadian Ford. This was a major shot at us, gods and goddesses. And the other companies followed suit behind Henry Ford, and they started doing the same thing. This was a wicked plan because the work week, the jobs took us away from it, broke our families apart. And we sold our souls. Why? Because we just want to make some money to keep the lights on. But being with family is more important than the goddamn lights being on. Having a family on one page is more important than fucking food. Because remember, the food they give us is poison anyway. And we don't require food to run. We could work good off water and energy, electricity. Now we have a taste for food because it's been programmed in us. Just like it was programmed in us to get up and go to these plants. These plantations. Thank you to Henry Ford. Now, Henry Ford is a Pleiadian that landed here originally. He's a body jumper. Your top Pleiadians, your hierarchy Pleiadians who've been here from jump, they are body jumpers, those and the reptilians. All right? So what does that mean? Conscious transfer was not new. All of this technology that they got now is shit compared to what we was doing back then. So that's why they keep it hidden from us. So that any little bullshit they bring, any little primitive inventions they come out with, we think is new. Like, oh, look at the iPhone. Look at the color TV. Oh, look, Alexa. You can say Alexa and she started talking. That ain't nothing. Okay? From what we do. It's nothing. That's all primitive compared to what we do and what we've created in our technology. Okay? So, I want you to understand that the work week itself was a weapon aimed at our community. And it divided us. It divided the household and the family. And then as the years went on, you start seeing them get to a point where they see how they can really use it. And they start paying the black goddess more than the black god to further make her not respect his ass in the house. So you had goddesses that had good gods, but because this white man, this motherfucking racist ass, these motherfucking reptilians that control these Fortune 500 companies, because that's who write the laws and policies for you, whatever company you work in. Not your manager. He's a small guy. I'm talking about the big dogs at the top that you ain't never seen in your life. They came up with a slick way to break us up even more. We're going to pay the goddess more than the god. So now she further ain't going to respect his ass. Who she going to respect more subconsciously? That white man. Because he the one gave her that good job. And with that good job, now she can get her nails did, get all her Chanel outfits. She ain't even think about all the time that's being lost that she's supposed to spend with her babies. Or with her mate while they create something. And then, humility was there and independence was promoted to our goddesses, so they further took that in. I don't need no nigga. I'm making 18 an hour. I need this white man, but I don't need these niggas. I'm chasing the bag. But when you chasing the bag, unless you work for yourself, what you're really saying is that you got a sugar daddy named Uncle Sam. And long as you suck that white dick good, which is bust your ass at his job with your goddess energy, because you was first, he gonna reward your ass. Further making you feel like, I don't need this god. Fuck him. I don't need no nigga, but I need that bag. See? Mentally and emotionally fucking you. This racist white man that own these Fortune 500 companies. The elites. Paying you to say fuck your God. Fuck your family. And the same thing with the gods. Work both ways. Because some of y'all do make more than your goddess. And now you act like that. I don't need her. I'm chasing this bag. Once again, Uncle Sam is fucking you and your ass too. He's buck breaking you. That's what it's called. When Uncle Sam run up in your ass, because when he was on a slave plantation, they ran up in your ass with straight dick. Now they run up in you with money. Now they run up on you with a job. Run up in you with the job. Fuck you that way. It's the same tactics, different faces. And they know you don't want to lose your job, because how you going to take care of your wife and your kids? If you can't do that, now you ain't shit in her eyes and you risk losing her and risk losing your crib. This is how they fucking you, black god. Deep dicking you. See what I'm saying? And then they got their laws in place for if you try to get out of pocket, they'll kill you in front of your wife and kids. They'll jail you in front of your wife and kids. They'll fire you in front of your wife and kids. So that's no different than back on the plantation when they would do that to us. You feel me? Same shit. And Henry Ford is a motherfucking Pleiadian, and he didn't die. When they avatars get too old, them top rank ones, they body jump. The new body that he jumped in is Prince Andrew. Yep, same Prince Andrew that's on trial for the sexual assaults. Yep, that's him. That's Henry Ford. Same Pleiadian vessel. They just switch vessels, I mean. This is how advanced this shit go. So when you talk about the work week, you could thank Henry Ford for that. And the work week destroyed our communities and our families. And once again, we could thank Henry Ford for that. And most labor unions are now controlled by white people. In the beginning, it was us that started labor unions. And they was killing us. Like they told you in there a little bit. They didn't stop killing labor unions until white people started running them. When we was running them, they was killing us. Thank Henry Ford for that. Understand the chess game when you see it. That's exactly what working for them is. All about harnessing you of your life force, draining of your energy, and dividing the God is against the God. And removing the child and removing the children. Because if you got kids involved, you can't raise your kids if you at work all goddamn day. So who raising your kids? TV. And that all go in combined with Henry Ford's initial strategy. They thought this shit out in advance. That's why everything crashing. All right? But I love y'all deeply. This was another deep divine download. Meditate on it. Go look up on what I said about Henry Ford. Read more about it on Wikipedia. All right? I will see y'all Sunday on YouTube for our lecture, Moon Cycles, the truth about periods. That's going to be to the public. And then we online all next week. I got the schedule for this month already on here. So y'all go look at the schedule. For those who just joined the university, once again, make sure y'all let people know to download the app. I'm going to go live and let people know you got to download the Spaces app. And then we finna get our own app. So just give me like a little maybe a week or two. We'll have our own app. We lit, y'all. Ain't nothing going to stop these downloads. Each one is imperative that you grasp it and get it. Because it all leads to the bigger picture while we in game now and everything coming down. I love y'all deeply. Peace to the guys and goddesses of the planet Kai. I'm probably finna go on Instagram real quick and update them on how we was lit. It was 4,000 live viewers today. We always getting deep like that, y'all. So like I said, well, if we get the app, I think we ready to turn the comments on and really just kick it. Because we can't let nothing stop us while we in this situation we in. We got to stay focused. Let's unite. Let's link up in real life time. I've been linking the guys in Atlanta. We're going to be linking to other states. Use this platform. Use the forum to give each other numbers and all of that. Put y'all profile pics in there and everything. Y'all, we got to stick together. They attacking us. You know what I'm saying? And we not going to lose this war, y'all. Peace to the guys and goddesses of Planet Kai. Now we rise. One.